Hey, Sooner football fans. This is your Sooner football fans podcast. You got Terry, Rob, and Caleb here. Boomer up.
Boomer Terry.
Boomer Caleb.
Boomer.
And we are coming at you from the beautiful, wonderful Podcast Palace,
Where we are not affiliated with the University of Oklahoma.
but we do have eligibility left. So, first off, let's get the big things out of the way. If you didn't make the UCLA tailgate out at the Rose Bowl, you missed out.
Had a good time?
But you can still go to www.tailgateconnect.com. Tailgate Connect can hook you up with any tailgate pretty much across the country. Get you in, get you to where you need to be. So if you're traveling, you're not going to be at a Sooner home game, and you just want to experience a tailgate somewhere else, go to tailgateconnect.com.
Like next year, we're going to
Army
game.
West
so
Point.
Start looking into that.
Yes, absolutely. And also make sure and check out our videos on Thursday night from Louis on Campus Corner. Go visit the guys at Louis anytime you can. Like we always say, tell them that we sent you. Won't do you any good. They'll just look at you funny.
Right.
And also, we're announcing it now, but on Monday's podcast, we'll have more information. We have a new sponsor / cohort that we're going to be working with called Bar Finder. And we will give you more information on Bar Finder. We'll have them on the podcast on Monday. Basically, it's kind of like what it says. It's a bar finder. Except,
So wait, it's like two guys walking to a bar.
exactly. And one goes, "I found it," and the other one goes, "No, you didn't. I did." No, actually, it is for sports fans who want to go where their team is at, that they don't want to have to watch all the other. So it's sports bars around the country that are specific teams. On game days, they show specific teams, whether it be football, baseball, basketball. That is all they show. And we're working with them, partnering up with them with some stuff. And so you will be able to use Bar Finder if those of you who are outside of the state of Oklahoma and even in Oklahoma to find where the Sooner fans gather to watch Sooner games on game day.
So I think in Oklahoma it's like everywhere.
Yeah.
Besides up north.
Yeah, but there are some bars that show all the games, but there are some that
specific to a certain team.
and it's kind of like alumni groups like out in different areas. They either go to someone's house in a town or they go to a specific bar. If you're not an alumni, or part of an alumni group, it's a bar that you can go to where non-alumni Sooners are just a Sooner fan, and it's a Sooner friendly bar. That's what they focus on. So
yeah. I know like some friends that lived in like Chicago and New York. They have bars just for that. Like, I mean, that's what it is. It's like you're back in Norman, pretty much watching the game.
Yeah, it's there. I saw one. It
was on game day too.
Yeah, there was one up in New York City that was nothing but Sooners.
Yeah, Sooners. Each bar has their own thing. Like there's like a Notre Dame bar. There's a OU bar. It's a USC bar because everyone around the country lives in New York. So I mean, they just kind of make that, which is kind of cool. So
yeah, so but the owner and person who the guy who started Bar Finder is going to be on with us, and we'll share all the information, and then we'll be letting you know. We'll probably be having a Sooner bar watch party thing of the week or the day or something like that to go to, so everybody will know where to be at. But the place to be at on game days at home is on the corner of Jenkins and Brooks with Tailgate Like a Champion and us, the best tailgate in town. So, off week.
It's wonderful for me because I get to watch football, actually.
Yeah, but what we need to do first is get Caleb's take on the UCLA game, because we already talked about it on the last podcast, and I know you and I both watched it, but let's get Caleb's take on What did it look like to you on TV, the game?
Which part? I mean, it's a lot.
All of it. I mean,
well, first off, it was kind of cool seeing like over half was red and a little bit blue. So I mean, that was pretty cool seeing. Jalen had 99 yards the first drive rushing.
Yeah.
That was pretty crazy. I think he told that guy to hold on purpose so he can do that. And then the only thing that really impressed me was the D-line. The D-line is the only thing that really impressed me. I wasn't really impressed with anything else defense, but the D-line is still just murdering people.
yeah.
So, I mean, the D-line is the one thing about defense that I'm like really high on. Everything else I still think is probably I'm not sure about yet because they haven't been tested. But it's kind of hard to test the secondary when there's someone's in their face almost the whole game.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's the main thing I took away from the game was Jalen Hurts was great. Pretty much everyone was great.
So on TV, live, it looked like we were dominating the whole game. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I mean, there's only like 2 plays that were like real bad. It's like that long third down conversion they got. There's one time we got in backfield and they didn't wrap up. And then besides that, though, like we actually looked pretty good all around.
Did you go back and rewatch it?
Yeah,
Terry?
I watched it last night.
And what'd you think?
Same thing. It was dominant.
So a lot different than when we were in the stadium.
Because I'm telling you,
agree?
Yeah, because me and Rob during the game were getting pissed off, weren't we?
Right. It just didn't look good. I didn't think we were very,
I don't know if it was the angle of our seats,
It must have been. Because when I rewatched it, I was like, oh, hey, we look pretty good.
Yeah, because I mean, if you're there, I can imagine, because I heard there were people like running open in secondary pretty much, but the guy couldn't get to him because our D-line was just murdering them.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
he did have some open receivers.
The tight end was open all day.
Yeah.
That tight end was open all day. That big tight end they had was always open. But, I mean, they couldn't get the ball to him because every time they had to snap the ball, Perkins, Redmond, Gallimore, someone was in the backfield and all over him. So,
that's the thing is he was running wild open because we were blitzing from that spot
Yeah.
that would cover him. So.
And there was one play in the first quarter that they even brought the fact up that they didn't, they used a blitzing linebacker to cover, and they got burnt. It was about a 15-yard play, and he goes, that was the matchup Chip Kelly wanted. They weren't blitzing, so now you have your fastest guy on the field, UCLA's guy, being covered by a linebacker who was normally up there going to be blitzing or at a rush in. So, but yeah, it looked completely different.
Yeah, completely different on TV than.
So you guys thought that they were struggling the whole time, pretty much?
Yeah, it looked sloppy.
Yeah,
I mean, from where we were sitting, it was like, man, are they, missing blocks and Jalen's having to do this? But when you looked at it, man,
so it looked like it's part of the scheme, pretty much. It looked like
Good
we watch
Lord.
it.
I know, and really, the only place you can fault Jalen in the game, in my opinion, and this is being really picky, is the touchdown pass that he threw. Like I say, being really picky here.
Yeah.
The touchdown pass that he threw to CD was about 5 yards short. CD had to stop, turn around, and come back, catch the ball. But then he goes ahead and scores.
Yeah, because he was 10 yards behind the receiver.
I mean, you can't get away with that if you play good teams.
Yeah.
But outside of that, I mean, he was spot on.
Yeah. I mean, the 99 yards, a lot of people have been saying we're running, and when we had Scotty on, I don't want my quarterback running that much. And I agree with that. But when your quarterback can run and they're giving it to you, that first long run, I mean, the offensive line did their job. They blocked out, and when he stepped over, they had the one rush in coming in that the running back got. There was nobody for 50 yards.
That first play, he was just like, oh, this is a great way to open the game.
Yeah,
he just like he could walk for 20 yards.
So I realize it's an option, right?
Yeah,
he can give or he can keep.
Yeah,
well, it's an option with them like pulling too. So I mean, it's not only his option; they're doing multiple things at once, which is crazy.
But
so when he pulls the ball, that's when things are wide open.
Right.
So I mean, we can't fault him too much, but.
What's another thing too? Like, who's like the best college quarterback we had in the last like 10, 12 years? It's Tim Tebow. I mean, that guy can't throw with a crap, but he made the offense around him that he could run all over everyone, and they may have to make a pass. So I mean, and the other person who reminds me a lot of is Cam Newton. That was 1 year Cam Newton had at Auburn. Like, the guy just dominated everyone. No matter how good you were, that guy just took over and dominated everyone. That's what Jalen looks like right now.
And then
can't stop him.
The first touchdown where he got his 99 yards. On that last one, I mean, it was a quarterback draw, and it was blocked perfectly.
Oh, that was a fourth down too. So
I mean, they put people on the ground. there was a hole big enough that all three of us side by side pretty much could have gone. It didn't look like it from the side, but when they showed it from behind, it was like, good Lord.
And then the commentators, I don't know at what point in the game it was, but they were like showing a replay of it. And they were like, look, this guy puts his guy on the ground and he lays on him.
And this guy,
Yeah.
I saw that same
That was
thing.
pretty
Like,
hilarious.
there was three guys on the ground, and he said that's what he's talking about with Bill Bedenbow. That's what they teach. That's what they take pride in. Is Oklahoma's offensive line is going to pancake you if they can, and more than likely they're going to be able to. And even a young line, they did have some, which we knew was going to happen. They had some miss reads, miss blocks, whatever, missed calls, but for the most part,
They were good.
they were they were really good.
Well, and a lot of people might say, well, UCLA. Well, UCLA still has talented football players.
Yeah.
They suck.
They just suck. But I mean, those guys are still athletes.
Yeah.
So
And I'm with Caleb. Even watching it, I'm 100%. Our defensive line and linebackers are playing out of their minds right
Yep.
now.
That's the one difference. I mean, even if you don't believe in defense, the one thing you can say for sure, that defensive line is the most improved part of our whole team. That defensive line is monsters.
Some of the stuff that this single gap stuff that I'm really liking that I watched, because I watched it last night, was the fact that when that you don't know what gap they're taking. They were lining up on the outside shoulder of the guard or tackle and taking the inside, the longer away gap. But guess what happened when they did that? There was a linebacker in that other gap, and nobody was there to block him because it confused the offensive line.
Yeah. That's
Another
what
thing
it's
too
meant to
is
do.
they can't block. No one can block Gallimore or Redmond 1-on-1. Those guys are just eating people up there. It's crazy. And then you see the freak Ronnie Perkins like running full speed ahead. There's this one clip that like Redmond took two guys out, and you see Perkins curl up behind him full speed ahead and like almost takes the quarterback's head off. Like it's a scary defensive line.
Turner Yell. I mean, that kid looks good too.
Yeah, I mean,
he kind of looks like a striker out there a little bit.
Yeah, they are big, they're fast, but you get past the linebackers, it's the same. And even the commentators that the problem with Oklahoma's secondary is they're too small.
Who's the freshman that stepped up a lot? Like Davis.
Yeah.
He was because what's crazy about the defense that I wasn't talking about. Like we played 35 players. Like no one plays more than like 20 snaps because they just keep rotating. We don't get tired, which is cool.
And they even said that they were putting the freshman linebackers out there, and it's all to keep everybody fresh.
Yeah.
Parnell Motley and Trey Brown did really well, I thought.
Yeah.
I mean, I know that we had some open receivers, but I thought Parnell Motley and Trey Brown both played well.
Molly
had the interceptions.
Molly has like the number one like coverage, corner coverage thing like in the country right now. Like he's like the best corner like by analytics right now in the country. Like so he hasn't given a pass or something like that. So
and Nick Bonito, my favorite name on the Sooners right now, played out of his mind the other night, and so did Deshaun White. You heard their names. Deshaun White, at one point, didn't he make like 2 tackles right in a row? And I think he did that against North Dakota too. I think it was the other night. He got a sack and then another tackle for loss. One right after another.
That's the biggest thing about our defense. They're playing a backfield, which we haven't been doing in years.
Right.
So I mean, I said like even if you don't believe in defense, like you can already tell the improvements they have. I don't care who their opponent is. Even last year they weren't doing this stuff.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's just they might not be great. They might just be good. But I mean, you can just tell like they're going to at least be like they're make a difference
Well,
from
I think
last
all
year.
we asked for was improvement.
Yeah.
And we got it.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah, they're still what bothers me is getting into the Big 12. There's going to be issues with that defensive backfield.
Texas game, man. That Texas game worries me.
And the commentators even hit on it too. Is like, it's Grinch is going to get bigger guys back there.
That's how he recruits. I mean, that's his target.
Our average guy is like 185 pounds back there and like 6 foot tall. Buki brings that average down.
Oh yeah, for sure. Well, they're getting better, and as long as they can play, if they can maintain where they're at right now, we'll be contending for.
As long as they play the ball, like that's one thing they never did. They never played the ball. They were playing the ball this year. Obviously, you can see them turn their heads around, knocking balls down. Like my biggest problem last year, they'll be in the right spot, but they won't turn around and play the ball at all. Like they just let the ball catch it, jump over and catch it.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's funny how y'all said that though, because like last year at the OU Texas game, Big 12 championship, I thought we're like dominating the whole game in the stands, and I came back home and guys like, oh, it was close as crap. I was like, I guess it was close. It just didn't feel that way in the stands because that whole game, I thought we were just beating the crap out of them. I know we were behind, but it just didn't feel like we were going to lose the game. Like, in the
but
stands.
Rob and I were talking during, again, we were talking during the game. Is there's guys wide open and he's throwing it down the field. Well, then when you saw it on TV, everybody was freaking open.
Yeah,
I mean,
it did look though like he tried to force a few into CD because that's his guy. I mean, that's the guy.
Yeah,
you want CD to get the ball, but when he's double covered and Calcaterra's running down the middle wide open, maybe you ought to just go ahead. And give
Yeah, there was a, but again, that's kudos to Lincoln Riley. And his play calling, his design of plays, they broke down a couple of plays, on there when I was watching it. That it's like what we've said before. It's like basketball. He's baiting the whole. He got everybody in that defensive backfield to move one way, and it was the long pass to the kid, doggone it, that played well against Alabama, Rambo. All of a sudden, Rambo just pops out of that whole mess of stuff all by himself. Yeah.
Another thing, too, from what I understand, too, is like UCLA, the biggest impression last year was like CeeDee Lamb's like, this guy's like a stud. Like, they all came up to him afterwards, like, you're going next level. Their whole game plan was to shut him down. Yeah. They still couldn't do it because CeeDee Lamb is a monster. They
slowed him down.
I guess.
And that, I think, maybe why we've seen him trying to force some passes in there. But, I'm all for getting the ball to CD. Don't get me wrong.
I mean, they got Rambo, and then Hazelwood's like top 10 yards off the catch, which is crazy as a freshman. So, I think he separated himself from all the other freshmen for sure. That he's like the one that they're all good, but he's the one that they're like super high on.
Well, real quick, let's go over the defensive rankings right now. Okay. Right now, Oklahoma, everybody's bunched in there. It says like, I think it's 15th or 25th, something like that, in sacks, but there's a whole bunch of teams with the same number of sacks.
Drinking the Kool-Aid?
No, I'm not.
Oh, boy.
9 sacks per game. That's pretty doggone good.
9 sacks per game?
Yes. That's what they're averaging. Now, Clemson is averaging like 14. Okay. So
they lost their whole front four, and they're still averaging that?
Yeah. Let's see. Red zone, I didn't write down the rank, but red zone defense were pretty low. They've been in the red zone 7 times. There's been 2 rushing TDs, 3 passing TDs, and 1 field goal. We've kept them from scoring 1 time, and that was a missed field goal the other night. So when they're getting in the red zone, they're still scoring.
There's also a couple of times against Houston too that they went for it on 4th down too. Like we got something 3 downs. They just went for it because the game was over.
Yeah, and basically everywhere we're between 50 and 60. Our rushing defense. We're giving up 140 yards per game, averaging 4.05 yards per rush. Passing yards allowed, we're ranked number 64. We've given up 6 TDs, 10.98 yards per pass, 212 yards per game. Total defense, we're number 58 right now. Giving up a total of 1,058 yards. 5.43 yards per play and 350 yards per game, which is better than what they were last year at this point in time.
And I'm going to tell you something. Houston is a good offensive team.
Yeah.
They proved that the other night.
But then we'll kick it over just because we have to say this. Of course, we're the number 1 offense in the country in total offense. Every category, we're in the top like 4 or 5.
We're number 2 in scoring. I'm only behind Baylor. But Baylor's averaging like 60 points a game.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
We've had 194 plays, 2,030 total yards in 3 games, 10.46 yards per play, averaging 676 yards per game. Now, the only other team, Utah State, is number 2, but they've only played 2 games. But the other team at UCF is number 3, and they've played 3 games.
Beat the crap out of Stanford.
We have over 200 more yards, total yards, than the number 3. And that gap's just getting bigger. So
we got 2 OU guys in top 3. You're saying Josh Heupel.
yeah.
So is that going to go up, down, stay the same during Big 12 play?
That's
Big
gonna-
12. Big 12 looks pretty decent this year.
Yeah, that's one of the things too that let's talk about the Big 12 real quick.
Yeah, because I think our preseason.
Yeah, we're
Yeah, I think we need to reassess.
our picks are horrible.
Or your preseason top 10.
Yeah, because we had Kansas and Kansas State on the very bottom.
Yeah, we picked
Kansas State's biggest shocker to me.
Yeah, Kansas
State's biggest shocker for me because
they're-
West Virginia is going to be the worst team in the Big 12.
I said that. I said
Yeah.
that from the get go. Y'all have like number 7. It's like, no, West Virginia's terrible.
Kansas is 2-1.
Like they beat NC State though.
They beat Indiana State 24-17. They lost to Coastal Carolina
Which is hilarious.
12-7, and then they beat the dog poo out of. Phone's ringing. Hold on, there we go.
Where'd they go? On silent.
They kicked the dog poo out of Boston College, which means Kansas is either a lot better or Boston College is.
Well, it's
Real
crazy.
bad.
Boston College was like actually looking good going that game. Like they were beating crap out of teams. All of a sudden, Kansas goes. I mean, that's classic Les Miles game. No one counts out. Like, and then he goes and beats the crap out of them. It was like a 40-point swing from the spread. They're minus 20 and ended up beating by 24.
Man.
Yeah.
So I think there's a combination here. I think Les Miles is a really good coach.
He knows coach him up. That's for sure.
Coached them up, and they're playing above their heads. They're Kansas doesn't have great players, but they got some transfers in that are pretty good. So
Yeah.
somebody
Yeah.
really
Phone
wants to
silent,
talk to
Dad.
you.
I put your phone on silent now.
Okay, I'll put y'all talk while I put my phone on silent.
So I don't know who else Kansas will beat in the Big 12.
West Virginia, I think they got them at home.
Besides West Virginia, but they're gonna give a lot of teams a good game. I think.
Headaches. I think they're giving headaches. Kansas State now might be top. I mean,
Yeah, Kansas State is 3-0. They beat Nicholls State 49-14, Bowling Green 52-0, and Mississippi State 31-24. And I watched.
they should be the crap out of Mississippi State.
They were just.
They kept turning the ball over.
They were manhandling
Yeah.
Mississippi State.
If they didn't turn the ball
Sure
over,
they were.
they beat them by 3-4 touchdowns. Like they
Yeah.
turned the ball over so many times. They're pretty good. TCU's just like hasn't let anyone score this year. Like so their defense is back. Like so I mean TCU's been dominating teams. OSU's offense might be the best offense besides ours in the country. Like their offense is
Well, they definitely got a pretty good back in Chuba Hubbard.
yeah. They probably have the best receiver for college in the country too.
We'll see.
And that guy is I think he has 13 catches, like 8 touchdowns. I mean, he leads the country in receiving yards too. Like that guy's pretty crazy.
Well,
Yeah. Tech got beat by Arizona last week, 28-14.
QB got hurt.
Yeah,
Only them
so-
and Iowa State lost last week. And
Yeah.
Iowa State, like they kind of beat themselves like they always do against Iowa.
now as I understand it, the Tech quarterback may be out.
He's out.
He's
Yeah, he's
done.
out. That's what I said. We won't be. The worst thing about him being out, we won't be challenged until Texas.
Well,
So we
I
won't.
bet their backups.
No, we got
Pretty
Kansas. I mean,
Kansas.
so we don't know about Kansas. We don't know anything about the Big 12 because it's all these new coaches. They've all redone everything.
Baylor's been really good.
So the Big 12 is
pretty
up and
good.
coming. It's pretty good.
Is that
So,
worse? The third best conference? That worst? So I mean,
Yeah.
it wasn't for SEC being so top heavy. Like that conference sucks too. But they have 4 really good teams at the top.
Yeah, and I think LSU's pretty legit actually.
They're pretty legit. I think Georgia might be the best team like right now in the country. I think Georgia's like doesn't have any flaws. Bama kind of like they look good, but they don't look like Bama. And so with Clemson, they look good. They don't look like last year's Clemson either.
And see, also, TCU, they beat Purdue.
You know, Clemson's not in the SEC, right?
Well, I mean they're pretty much. I mean the ACC's. I mean, if it wasn't for Clemson, the ACC is hands down the worst conference in the. Like they had the
Right.
worst weekend.
But I again, because I haven't been paying that much attention. to
TCU's been
they-
really impressive.
They beat Purdue. So I mean, that's not a.
And Purdue has one of the best receivers in the country
Yeah.
too. Like they have a really
Nothing to
guy.
sneeze at.
Like they've been real impressive.
Because
OSU's been impressive.
didn't Purdue beat Ohio State last year?
Yeah,
Did.
smoked them. Actually, is what happened.
And then-
Smoked them.
Who else? I mean, pretty much Big 12. Like the only 2 teams that lost was Iowa State and Texas Tech. Like I mean, even West Virginia beat. Dang, that was bad. Even West Virginia beat NC State, which no one thought was going to happen. Like, but I mean, I think Big 12 is gonna be a fun league. Like we all thought it'd be close, we thought like the teams would be bad. They didn't think the teams would be good.
Yeah. So, big game this weekend though.
A lot of big games this week.
Is Okie Stank and the Texas. So, do we pull for either of those teams this week?
No.
I don't know. I don't even know. Like I have no idea who's going to win that game. Like because I don't know how good OSU is.
It in Texas,
It's in Texas.
and I mean Gundy hadn't lost in Texas.
Since
the
Bush.
Last 5 or 6 years
Yeah.
or something.
Since Bush was in office last time he lost, 2008.
Wow.
Yeah,
Wow, why do you know that, Caleb?
I just knew it.
That's
Okay.
11 years.
Yeah,
Just
So-
FYI.
So,
They haven't lost in Texas in 11 years.
yeah. I mean they've owned Texas in the last 10 years. I think the last 9 meetings they won 7 of them. So I mean,
yeah,
I wish we could do that.
I'm not pulling for either one of them, but I mean, if Oklahoma State, wins it or loses, it makes the big, the Red River rivalry better. If Oklahoma State
Right.
If Oklahoma
We could
State
get a
beats
game
wins,
day.
if
We could
Oklahoma
get a game
State
day.
wins, it makes Bedlam better.
I mean, if
Yeah,
Oklahoma State beats Texas, they can be legit. We can play them back-to-back weeks if they beat Texas. Like that could be a real threat
yeah,
because, I mean, that offense they have is no joke. Like I think their offensive line is probably right behind ours, the best in the conference. Like that's which is shocking to say because they've been terrible for so long. Like that offense they have is pretty good. So
Well, and they honestly, they've not been tested all that much, so we don't really know. But I agree with Caleb. Right now they look pretty good.
yeah.
if they go in there, put all those points up on Texas and win, like I mean that's true freshman or redshirt freshman going in there and doing that. That's pretty. That's pretty telling then for that team rest of the year.
Yeah. If Texas wins, though, I think do we get a game day in the Cotton Bowl?
Oh yeah, that's for sure.
Oh yeah.
So that'd be nice.
I think
Yeah.
even if Texas loses, they still might do it. I mean, I'm not sure who else is playing that week, but
Well, we got trumped by, I don't know, Notre Dame. I think last year Notre Dame played somebody pretty big.
no, they were both there last year.
Yeah.
Both at Fox and
Yeah, both of them were there
game
last
day were
year.
there.
Before, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the year before I think they did LSU Auburn, LSU Bama or something like that. I mean, but this weekend though, I mean, it's a good weekend to relax and watch football because there's a good game on from start to finish. Every time period has a great game on. So.
Yeah. But, Saturday night, we'll be watching the greatest metal band in the history of the world.
Ooh, dang.
That's gone.
Jeez.
Bryce Harper, you can't fat him one down the middle like that. That's stupid.
Got the baseball games on. We got
Anyway.
the Phillies and
The Braves.
Braves. But anyway, the greatest metal band in the history of metal, Iron Maiden,
You mean Fozzy? Chris Jericho?
is playing in Dallas Saturday night, 7 p.m. I and Caleb will be there.
Do they play at 7 or is Fozzy playing at 7?
I have no idea.
If
All,
not, do you-
all I know is that the door's open at 7.
Fuzzy Bear.
Do you know how hot it's supposed to be?
I don't care.
Yeah, I will not be going.
We are under the awning though. It's an
So-
amphitheater, and part of it's under an awning. So you won't get sunburned and be too hot.
By the way, I'm
See.
pretty sure that's debatable on whether or not they're the best.
No, there is no debate, Rob. Okay, I'm just telling you.
I don't know about that.
There would be no Metallica without Iron Maiden. All these big metal bands, and we're not talking about hair metal bands and
Right,
rock
right.
metal bands. We're talking about
You're talking
heavy,
about the hard stuff.
yeah,
Black Sabbath,
the true,
Metallica.
the true metal. So it's the best of the beast, or
Some devil worshippers.
yeah. Did you go give that guy a hug? You sent me a picture of.
No,
No, you didn't.
he was right in front of me though,
Yeah.
with his Iron Maiden shirt on. I'm like, Terry would have a little. Terry would be all over that guy.
I'd tell him nice shirt. I would. Everyone I see, I tell him nice shirt.
Yeah.
But
How did the Queen accept her crown whenever she was the tailgate queen?
oh, she was mad and bitching and moaning about it because it was by default, because sooner or later they got there late, and you know, and
She ain't earn it all. She's
Dan from Tailgate Connect said you don't really want to win this award, so I'm thinking she did want to win that award.
Yeah, and but she got her little red Solo cup. What is it? Chalice.
Yeah, and we all bowed to her.
And we all
I saw
bowed
a picture
to
of
her.
that. Was the tailgate fun?
And yeah, it was great. And I was the king of the tailgate.
Well, they ran the bourbon girls off, so it kind of went downhill from there. But
Why the security guards did?
Yeah, because they felt they were there selling stuff, and they weren't. They were giving out samples, and I guess they frowned upon that and told them to leave. And then we had the cops there 4 times?
yeah, because you wouldn't calm down.
Yeah, I know, but you know, Rob was running around French kissing everybody, and
Your son's acting good out there.
Yeah, they were actually chill.
yeah, no.
I'm like, are you guys even having fun? I don't even know, because they were just like, you know, sitting,
Hanging out,
not really doing anything, and like, God, you know, there's girls here.
Yeah,
of course, you know, the oldest one, he's got a pretty steady girl, but
no, the youngest one, he's
the middle one, he's
middle one, he needs to probably be tested about every other month, right?
No, I'm not gonna. No, not going.
I'm sorry, Rob. I shouldn't have went there. My bad. My apologies. But no, but you know, they had cornhole. They had a football kicking game. I don't know what it was called. And then they had the dart game.
Who brought the beer bong? Did David bring that?
Dan. Dan brought everything.
Yeah, it was all Dan.
Yeah.
Beer bong looks. I mean, my friend has one of those beer bongs. They're pretty legit.
Yeah.
Or David has the Bongzilla, whatever.
Yeah,
he had
he-
that.
But
It has like 8 beer bongs in it. You just pour all his beer in it, and then you open it up. Everyone opens it up at the same time.
Wow.
and then they, you know, the doctor who was actually an MD, walking around with a liquor jetpack on. Had 2 big cylinders. One was full of lemon vodka, I think, and the other one was full of like coconut rum. And you had your choice, and he would squirt it in your mouth, or he'd fill your cup. If you squirt it in your mouth, you had to get down on your knees in front of him, and I wasn't going to do that.
You were out on that deal?
Yeah.
I'm like, where's the non-alcoholic drinks, bruh?
How much different was the game compared to the Rose Bowl, the stadium? Is it just a lot? Does it still feel special like the Rose Bowl did?
Yeah, I mean, it's the Rose Bowl. I mean, you know, it looks cool.
It's the greenest grass you'll see on a football field.
I'll tell you this right now. UCLA has better tailgating opportunities than we do.
Oh, yeah.
And better tailgates.
Yeah, because the University of Oklahoma doesn't let fans tailgate.
What's on a golf field, right? Golf course or something.
Well,
right?
yeah, but still, I mean, you know, the university, you know, we are not affiliated with the University of Oklahoma, but so we can say this: the university is pushing tailgates away.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
they blocked off another section this year.
They're making them sponsors now, pretty much, right? You have to get them through certain sponsors.
Yeah, there is the tailgate guys who you can pay, you know, like $5,000 for the year, and they'll give everything you need for your tailgate. But the university would rather get a donation of $5,000 for a parking space than to open up a parking lot and have it first come, first serve. Like what, you know, Dan said, there's a section that you can tailgate in at UCLA. Okay, it's not the whole place. It's basically a section or a couple of sections, and you get in your car and you line up and you drive to your spot that you want. You unload your truck right there and set it up, and your truck, car, whatever is right there. University of Oklahoma, we set up our tailgate. In the morning, we have to move our cars 1.5 miles away. We have to wait for 1.5 hours after the game because they close off all the streets.
And you can get to it.
And to unload it. Or to load it back up and leave.
Yeah, there at UCLA, I was riding with Scotty, and he was setting up, you know, they had, his wife is a big UCLA fan. Of course, she wears Sooner gear, but their whole family graduated from UCLA.
Yeah.
They pulled up out there, Caleb, in a field, and there was dozens of them, you know, in their pickups. And then, you know, across the way, the other row was all pickups, and they backed up there, you know. And so they pulled out their tailgates and covered half the back of their truck on both sides. And so it was like that all the way down you know,
People
which
just
was
tailgating.
actually-
People just tailgating out of their truck, so you have to bring like speakers and stuff. You just open your windows. And
Yeah.
I mean,
people
that's how it
brought-
kind of was in Roseville. We went there. Everyone was just kind of drinking out of the truck and stuff.
You know, there was a bunch of those that you know, the tailgaters would, if they were the same tailgate, they would bumper up to each other, you know, in the space, and then they'd put their tents together.
Yep.
Because all the traffic was done going through there, and that's how you tailgate. And you could do 3, 4, 5 cars on either side, just like that.
And one dude had a portable kegerator in the back of his truck that came out.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean they were.
Yeah.
I was impressed with some of their tailgates.
And
that they're
Oklahoma has some great tailgates. Ours is one of them, but all around us there's some great tailgates. But it's just it's not tailgate
not the
friendly.
same.
It's not, you know, in my opinion, one of the things they should do is, okay, all that area around, as much as I like where we're at, okay, is close it off to tailgating. You know, people can wander around and everything, and make the duck pond tailgate. And that cars can pull in there, vehicles can pull in there, and
Is that how it
set up
used to
their
be?
tailgates.
The duck pond used to be like the main tailgate place. Was that
I think I think they used to park some of the RVs there. You can tailgate there. You just can't. You have to get your stuff out, walk to where you're at.
Well, south of the stadium, across the street was a parking lot at one time, and a lot of people tailgated there, and they could
Right.
park there.
Right.
But you know, obviously that's Dunham College now. So.
Yeah. So it's not a tailgate friendly university. I mean, there's great tailgates.
So you used to bash your head to get it going, though, pretty much.
And you know, I've talked to people, you know, around us and everything, and there's been talk about some of the tailgaters getting together and starting a tailgate committee and go to the university. And I said, as soon as you do that with the University of Oklahoma,
I shut it all down.
they will shut it all down. And if you want to have a tailgate, you're going to pay for it.
Yeah.
They're going to say, okay, you're right. We should make it. So we're going to do it over here. And you're going to have to pay $500
Per
a
game.
year to have that tailgate.
I mean,
You know.
Well, I'm sure the weather wasn't like scorching hot either, too, right?
Oh, well, yes, it was.
It was?
Saturday,
Yes,
it
it was.
was.
How hot was
hot.
it?
It was
was
98
actually-
degrees.
The whole first quarter was pretty miserable.
Yeah.
Was
'cause
it humid, too, or was it like a dry heat?
No, it was just flat out hot.
It was like burning your skin hot. And then when the sun went behind the stadium, then
It
it
was
was like,
instant.
Oh man,
You
it's
know,
like 20, 30 degree difference.
I remember when we went to Roseville, like we went out there, I was wearing shorts and stuff, and it was freezing cold. I was like, this sucks. It was like
Yeah.
30 minutes of it was freezing. All as soon as that sun came up, it went from like 50 degrees to 75. like as soon as it came up.
This wasn't December and January. This was and you know, they said you know, before, you know, like Friday or Thursday and Friday, it was nice. It was mid to high 80s, low 90s.
Yeah, it was nice.
But it was like game time. It was like 98 degrees.
Yeah, it was
and,
hot.
well, and in the mid afternoon at the tailgate, even though we were on a tree, it was hot. I mean,
Yeah, and actually the UCLA people were very pleasant.
They were. Did y'all
Yeah.
see that UCLA fan taunting Jalen walking in the stadium?
Yeah.
yeah, But-
Smart.
yeah, not very. You know, obviously they're not very well educated. Even, you know, they're.
Well, I guess that one wasn't. I mean, even the UCLA fans were getting pissed off at that guy. Like they were like, "Are you kidding me? Like we aren't very good. And you're gonna make it the guy that's killing everyone mad."
Yeah. And we had several of them come up to us after the game, and you know, we hope you guys go all the way and win the title. And you guys are a class act. You know, the Sooner fans, half of the crowd was Sooner fans, and they were
Well, I think I saw
pretty
like
well behaved. One thing I didn't hear during the game that I heard on TV was the boos
from UCLA fans.
from the UCLA fans when they were running dumb plays.
Yeah.
I didn't hear any boos at the stadium, but man, on TV, they must have had microphones right on UCLA.
I saw like a thing. I guess someone came out and said like even with giving away free tickets, you still outnumbered them 60-40 in the
Yeah.
game. So
Yeah,
we got
That's
more
what
fans.
they were
there.
trying to avoid is us outnumbering
Yeah,
them.
and we
That's why
did.
they give away 4 free tickets to every ticket holder.
And we
Yeah.
still outnumbered them, which
Oh,
is
yeah.
crazy. 60-40, which is, I said, like, the place looked empty because how big that stadium is.
yeah.
Because the end zones were both, like, empty pretty much, but the all in the middle was full.
the south end zone ended up filling up because that's where the OU fans were half of it, all the way around to where it ended.
Yeah.
And you know that, and apparently didn't Scotty say that's general admission? You
Yeah.
get there early and sit where you want.
Yeah.
And I noticed on TV, I didn't notice that they were giving away free pom poms, and all those seats had pom poms in them, and nobody was there to use them.
Well, what I didn't like, Terry, was we got seats and we went in, and we were like, okay, we're going to move down to a better spot because obviously nobody's here.
Yeah.
And they had the sections closed, Caleb, where you couldn't
get over there.
leave your section.
Yeah.
And they had like chains up and stuff, so
Yeah.
you could not go.
It's
we
like they
could have moved to a better spot.
So they
if we
knew
wanted to.
that place wasn't sold, so like I will just block this off pretty much.
When they should have just said, hey, all you guys move over here.
Feel free to move around the cabin.
What's that make it look better? Because on TV it looked like, I know it was empty, but like it looked empty because how big that stadium is. Like, it's hard to fill up that place. Even like UCLA games, a place doesn't fill up. It's kind of like the Coliseum too.
Well, but and they said that I was watching on the news down there. One of the news stations was talking about it that USC, the way they make the Coliseum look full is they put those big stupid fake jerseys up.
Yeah.
To cover up so many seats because
it's a Coliseum.
Yeah, and even when they're doing well, they don't fill it up. They don't, and talking with fans, I talked to some UCLA fans and other folks around town, while we were out there, is like California is not a college state. There's too much to do in California.
Yeah, too many pro teams out there.
Thing, they're Lakers town, and they like the Dodgers. Like that's two sports that they support like hardcore.
But there are so many, in college, East Coast, Midwest, it's not that there's nothing to do, but game day is that's what you do. Everybody in the Midwest is either at the game or in front of their TVs watching the game. The neighbor, next to the Airbnb we were staying at, game morning, I'm out there. I go out on the little deck, because we're upstairs, and this guy comes. He takes out his trash, and he comes walking. He kind of looks up at me and looks up at me again, and he goes, does Oklahoma play today? And I went, yeah. He goes, who are they playing? This guy lives in California. And I went, well, they're playing UCLA at the Rose Bowl. And he goes, huh? Well, I'll have to watch that game. You didn't know that.
When he said another thing, like LA, you're an hour away from everything. We go skiing, drive an hour, go skiing, go to the beach, drive an hour, go to the beach. Like, you can do whatever you want really down there. So your team must be really good for him to go. And then even then, it's still hard for them to go there.
Yeah. There's just too much going on out there. But again,
too much traffic for sure.
Oh, Lord. Yeah. But I agree with Rob. They're the guys that were out there tailgating, the tailgate was legit.
That's probably why they let them do that too, because they realize they won't be people there, so they don't have to worry about the.
When we were coming in, because Sarah, David's wife, dropped us off, and so we walked in. And there were some golfers. The golf course was open that morning. And I was like, man, I bet you guys love this. He goes, hey, man, it's just early start time. We're the next to the last group. And they let them play golf that morning. And until.
Can you imagine grounds crew the next day with all that stuff to get it ready for, I guess Sundays have to be closed, I guess.
Well,
right?
But if you look at it, it's roped off to where you don't drive.
Onto the golf course.
Where you park at. You're parking on the gaps between the fairways. You're not on.
They're rough, pretty much.
Yeah, you're not driving on the. You're not driving on the fairways and the greens.
Not anywhere around the greens.
No. So they, it is a unique setup that it's like that. But the University of Oklahoma could do the same thing. There's plenty of areas around there that they could open it up to good family fun, and not all of them are just drunken parties. There are family fun tailgates. Mm-hmm. With families and stuff, but they're for some reason.
I still think it's funny you guys thought the game that we looked terrible in the game though. That's kind of funny.
It was just weird.
I don't know how to explain that.
I get it because I said that the Texas game I thought we were beating the crap out of them. Even though the score didn't say it, it just felt like we were just dominating that game. Like, I wasn't worried at all we were going to lose. And then I watched the game again. I was like, holy crap, we almost lost that game. So it's just I get it. Yeah, but
yeah, and also the Bob Stoops incident where Bob came up to take wanted a picture with us. That's how it happened, wasn't it, Rob? Bob
he probably heard we were there, Terry, and
saw me, and Rob's like, "Oh, let me get in on this."
Yeah.
And but I've started having Texas fans comment on it. Like, rent free, blah blah blah. I'm like, How do
the
you
horns
even-
down. The horns down.
Yeah, how do you even know about this post?
You come searching for us.
Yeah, are
buddy.
you searching? You know, you're
Well,
looking,
Bob Stoops retweeted it, so I'm pretty sure Texas fans. That's
Yeah.
where they saw it from.
and but you know, and did you see the tweet I put out today?
Which one?
The guy from Germany.
I saw something.
Yeah, he was from Germany. We talked about it Sunday night. We met a guy
Well, I
from
saw
Germany.
and stuff for that one.
Yeah, I tagged JR. JR retweeted it,
He did. That's cool.
and that he
Get JR on the show sometime. He's the biggest OU fan probably.
But he was, and this was kind of his accent. It wasn't a thick German accent, and we were like, "How'd you become an OU fan?" And he goes, "You know WWE wrestling?" And we went, "Yeah, J.R. Ross." Sooner, we were like, "Oh," yeah. But here's the thing: he didn't drink. He was a
Interesting.
German that didn't drink. He goes, "No, you know, this is funny. I'm a German who doesn't drink."
I'm like, you came all the way from Germany
Yeah.
to L.A. to watch this football game.
Yeah.
I was like, yep.
That's crazy.
Wow. Okay.
And there's I can't think of his name on Twitter. He's from Vancouver. He goes, "Man, I thought I traveled a long ways from Vancouver to watch the game."
Yeah, that is a long way.
It is, but it ain't Germany. How long of a flight is it from Germany to L.A.?
I don't know.
You see some Texas fans making fun of Boo Pickens dying.
Oh, that's
They're
just wrong.
classless.
Yeah, they're-
I mean, I know they're a little brother, and we don't necessarily like OSU, but I'm not going to make fun of some. You know, their biggest donor ever.
yeah.
Well, someone said their little
wait.
brother. We don't like. We make fun of him. We won't pick on him and everything. But when like the bully comes around, we gotta stick up for him. Like Texas, pretty much. Like, I mean, that's
Yeah,
what someone
I mean,
said.
You know, we made fun of him when he was alive. There was no reason to make fun of him. You know, I mean, the guy,
That's classless.
you know, was
He made them what they are now. I mean,
you
it wasn't
know,
for him putting a lot of money in
you
there.
know, he donated most of his money to the Oklahoma State University. But I saw a deal today that he also donated money to the University of Texas. He don't, you know, to medical stuff. If it was worthy of him of a need, he donated the money to it. It wasn't just
I think he's probably a pretty good dude.
yeah. I mean, he didn't. You know, there was some medical center down in Texas that was doing it, and he donated money not because, you know, it's an alma mater. It was need. It was a worthy cause and needed it. And he did that a lot. So hats off to Boone. We made fun of him. You did see what was in his will though, which was awesome.
The haircut for Gundy.
$30
Oh.
to Gundy. That is hilarious.
Somebody said it was $30 million.
No, it was
$30
$30.
to
He left.
go to Sports Clips, get a haircut or something.
Yeah, it was to go to Sports Clips to get a haircut, which
Yeah.
is awesome.
I mean, I said for like all that crap Texas fans talking. It's kind of like making Sooner fans and OSU fans like on the same page for 1 week.
Yeah.
Kind of. 'Cause I see people who hate OSU are like, screw like.
Yeah, you
at
don't
this,
do that,
At
you
this,
know.
we're going to team up actually. Like one thing
Yeah,
we can all agree
you-
on is screw Texas.
You know, you can make fun of and dislike any team's donor and everything, but you have respect for somebody's life.
Yeah.
You know, and when somebody's life ends, you don't.
I'm sure it's not all Texas fan, but it was like one of the main
Yeah.
parody accounts that.
You know, I mean, I saw
Herman guy, whatever.
Yeah, but did you see the meme somebody put out today? You know, because people are starting to call Herman Pee Wee,
funny.
Coach Herman Pee Wee, and
Because he cries all the time too.
they photoshopped Pee Wee Herman shaking Lincoln's hand. But no,
the heck was that? Jesus.
no,
Oh, that was perfect.
what happened there? See,
Oh my gosh.
baseball
sorry.
game, guys. So just in case you guys are wondering,
You got to see the picture. Just I don't know what he's doing. He's laid as an egg there. That was terrible.
Looks like elementary football.
That was like 50 cents first throw out pitch or something.
Oh
you know,
my goodness.
that was terrible.
that was horrible. The Yankees and the Angels. He looked like the 6-year-old that never got to play t-ball that they put in because he was supposed to get to
Honestly,
play.
it looks like Uncle Rico's throw.
That was
Uncle
terrible.
Rico.
Yeah.
But
You guys want to talk about any big games? Or are you going to do that tomorrow?
well, what big games you talking about?
I mean, for opening the game, which I think is going to be a really good game, is Michigan at Wisconsin. Wisconsin has been beating the crap out of teams all year long.
I'm going to take Wisconsin because I don't think
I got
Michigan's
Wisconsin
that
too.
good.
As
They
am I.
don't have the best running back in the country. That guy's really good, but still, Wisconsin always doesn't beat the big teams. Like they're good, but they always lose the big
They're
teams.
going to beat Michigan. I don't think Michigan's that good.
And then you got at 2:30, you got Auburn and A&M. I don't know who's winning that game.
Man,
honestly,
that's a
It's
pick
kind of
'em.
a toss up.
Yeah.
and then the nightcap, you got OSU Texas, which is a good game, but they had the game of the day with Notre Dame going to Georgia.
Yeah, but Notre Dame's going to get their ass kicked.
Still, I mean, that's always awesome to watch. 'Cause
Yeah.
I think Georgia might be the best in the country right now. I think Georgia's really good. I think Georgia, OU, and OSU, Ohio State, are like the three most impressive teams.
I would
so
I would
far.
really like to see somebody other than Alabama and Clemson in there. I would like for it to be in Oklahoma, Ohio State, Penn State. Something.
Yeah, I don't want to see Clemson or Alabama in there.
Yeah.
They've been in there a
I
bunch.
kind of want to see just Bama just because the Jalen story with Nick Saban, which would be if we beat Nick Saban with Jalen, I can only imagine like the story comes out of that.
Oh,
That
stuff.
would
yeah.
be a huge storyline.
So I mean, that's the only reason why Alabama to get there. 'Cause just so if we beat him with Jalen, would be crazy. It
That
would
would
just
be
be
so sweet for him.
So here let's do a little stat questioning. Okay, how many yards is Jalen Hurts averaging rushing? These are rushing stats.
110
No, per carry.
11.4.
per carry, like
Yeah.
12 or something like that.
9.8.
Wow.
Trey Sermon
8.5.
7.6.
7.3.
Dang.
Ramondre Stevenson
I want to say 12.
9.5.
8.7.
Dang. I thought that big run might have helped that one.
Kennedy Brooks
10.2.
A 9.
10.4.
Hey, Kennedy Brooks is averaging
Yeah.
10.
Charleston Rambo
Per catch? Yards per catch?
per carry because he carries the ball too. He did some ends around.
8.
Yeah, 7 or 8.
Yeah,
6.
7.5. Spencer Rattler
8.
Yeah.
7.5. Tanner Mordecai
4.
2.
12.
Oh, dang. It's the Liam Rusher.
Wow.
How many attempts?
1.
Yeah, that's why.
CD Lamb is averaging 1 yard per carry. Let's see, receiving. Charleston Rambo, what's his average reception?
18.
14.
22.82.
That was long touchdowns he gets.
His longest was 56. CD Lamb,
16.5.
13 and a half.
25.44. Long was 48. He's had 9 catches. Rambo's had 11.
Hazel 9 catches? Jeez.
Yeah. Hazelwood,
I know his is pretty good. I think his is like 20, around 20 or something.
14.5.
22.17.
Yeah. Hazel was like he's like one of the leading countries in that stuff.
He's had 6 catches.
His yards after catch is like top 10.
Yeah. His longest was 49.
I said almost all of his catches are like 2 yards out, and he just jukes guys out and just takes off. Like,
Yeah. Grant Calcaterra,
that's like 10.
17.
15. Longest is 24. He's had 4 catches.
That's so crazy. He only has 4.
Nick Basquine. Is it Basquine? Basquine?
That Basquin
14.5.
16.
10. Longest of 14. I'll skip that one. Who else? But yeah, I mean, here's the thing. Our receivers, I don't think there's. Good Lord, all of them are,
Averaging 10
average is
yards.
like 15 or
It's
more.
way up
That's
there.
crazy.
It's nuts.
But here's the stuff we should be talking about. Did you see how many times they're trying to double team Neville Gallimore? And he's still causing trouble.
Yeah. Well, there was one, who was it? They triple teamed
Redmond. And
Redmond. And he just
beat all
destroyed
3 of them.
Yeah.
And then Perkins gets a sack because he brings these 3 guys up. Like, I mean, it's just.
They're impressive.
Yeah.
That front line is impressive.
And what if I was watching it last night. That gap technique they got, they're very good at, because they're not coming through the gap straight up. They're that tilted in the body. You know what I mean? They're coming through the gap with the body sideways, not stepping through and coming through big.
I guess like a lot of NFL scouts are saying, like, Gallimore has been playing out of position for 3 years, and he's actually playing right position now. He's like shooting up the draft boards now because he's actually playing
Yeah.
what he's supposed to be playing. I mean, we've been playing the wrong defense for 5 years pretty much with the guys we have. Like,
Yeah.
So I think we just continue to get better. I mean, I know we're going to get into offenses that.
I mean, the Texas game. I mean, their
move the
offense is no
ball.
joke. So I mean, we'll see if we shut down. If we hold Texas 28, I'll be super happy.
If we get 2 or 3 turnovers, we're liable to blow them out.
What was the attendance at the Rose Bowl? Any guess?
32.
Let's say 60.
It was 52,578.
Wow.
And so, and I'm telling you,
30,000
30,000 of that
OU
was
fans.
Oklahoma.
Yeah.
I mean, and it was really cool when Lincoln came off the field. We were standing there. He did, and a lot of the players did too. He paid homage to the crowd. Remember that from where everybody was sitting, was clapping and pointing
Right.
at every angle of it, clapping because
Well, we were whistling and clapping them off the field, and even the players were like, "Hey, you guys showed up." So that was pretty good to see all the Sooners there.
yeah, and like I said, it wasn't just California Sooners. I mean, we met people.
Oh yeah,
From Oklahoma. There were
all
some
over the
guys.
place.
There were some guys from Blanchard, Purcell, Newcastle, Oklahoma City, Arizona, Las Vegas. Now we know Vancouver,
Germany.
Germany. It wasn't full of California Sooners. These people, we traveled out there to see them play that game because I mean it's the Rose Bowl, for crying out loud. You
Right.
want to go to an iconic stadium to watch a game.
Just
And
like next year when we go to
West Point.
West Point. It's going to be awesome.
Yeah.
Hopefully we travel well to that game too, but we may not get as many seats.
Yeah.
They may only give us the allotted because
Yeah.
I think they sell out a lot, don't they?
Yeah. But you know what? Even if we don't get in, we're going to go.
Yeah, we're still going to be there.
Yeah, we're going to go and we'll sit out at Tailgate and at Dan's Tailgate and watch that puppy.
You betcha.
We're going to experience it. Wait a second, Rob, me and you, we can get through whatever MPs are there to keep us out, can't we?
Well, we're so good.
We'll
looking
take
with
JD
us.
with us.
We'll find a girl. And
We'll get JD.
be like, "Hey, girl, what's your name is?"
No, we'll get JD,
Yeah.
from Iron Glide Band. We'll get him. He's
Army Ranger.
Army Ranger. He'll take care of us. He'll get us in there.
Yeah.
Take care of them MPs who try
It's
to
gonna be
stop
like,
us.
"Hey, listen, I'm Army Ranger," and they're gonna go, "Okay, y'all go right in."
Yeah. Let's see. What is there? Any other stats we want to look at? There's the teams game by game.
You didn't give Jalen's, did you? Or did you? His rushing stats?
No, he says he's at 9,
Yeah, you
8,
did. Yeah,
8,
you did.
8. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you got to take sacks kind of. The sacks kind of against you. So I mean, he's been sacked a couple times.
Well, he's still.
which is still crazy. He's averaging that much with a couple of sacks.
He's had 38 attempts, 393 yards gained. He's lost 20, which is a net of 373, which is a 9.8 yards average. 4 TDs. His longest was 52, and he's averaging 124.33 yards per game. And, Trey Sermons had 27 carries, Stevenson 21, Brooks 17. Let's face it, we know that probably 10 or more of his carries are flushed out of the pocket and making the best. It's not, but I'm telling you, watching that game, there are more design runs for him than there was for Kyler Murray.
No, it's for sure. He's big.
Yeah, he's big and he's
athletic.
fast.
He's fast and he's athletic, and he doesn't really get hit either. I mean, he'll run over some guys if he's bigger than them, but besides that, he'll just run out of bounds or just go down. So he doesn't really take big hits either. So I mean,
well, honestly, teams and defenses are going to have to start respecting that, and so those defensive ends are going to have to stay home, and linebackers are going to have to stay home, which is going to open up.
Then guess what he's
going
to do? Then he's going to stay back there.
Yeah.
And he's going to pick them apart because we got the best receiving core in 9 countries.
Well, that's, all 9 of them.
Yeah.
Well,
I think Bama's really good too. I
I'm
think us and
hoping,
Bama are
Jerry
too.
Jeudy's
Jerry G is the best
legit.
receiver.
Yeah.
That guy's a top 3 pick in the draft. That guy is a freak.
But-
You just that one guy against South Carolina. The guy that caught the ball and he was gone. Like he ran like 80 miles per hour. It's like, who the heck is this guy?
They got some
There is seriously no one 30 yards from the guy. He caught the ball on like the 30-yard line and took 2 steps and he was at the 50-yard line pretty much. It was like, Jesus, that guy is fast.
Well, I was talking to somebody today, and a guy at work, and he was talking about, Rob, you and I have talked about this, but Jalen doesn't look like he's a 4.5 40 guy when he runs.
He didn't look like he's really trucking that fast
because his strides are 4 yards long.
I say he reminds me a lot of Cam Newton in college. Like he reminds me a lot of. So, I mean, because he's so big and he's just like so powerful.
We talked about it last year. Brooks Kennedy's the same way.
Yeah.
Just doesn't look like.
Just doesn't look like he's. Man, that guy's got some moves though too.
Did y'all watch? I guess y'all saw some highlights last week. Which play you thought was crazy? The Najee Harris running back guy who stepped on a guy and then hurdled the guy for a touchdown, or the Mississippi State quarterback getting helicoptered.
The helicopter.
That was pretty awesome.
Anytime you get helicoptered, man, that's.
But he lost the game because
still. I mean,
the Najee Harris play to me was like the craziest play because linebacker came at him, he just grabbed him, threw him down, ran, and then hurdled over a safety guy and then scored a touchdown. Like that was like.
Hey. How does Trey Sermon stiff arm not?
I saw that one. Yeah.
That was nasty.
Put it right on his head and just shoved him
just like,
into the
get
ground.
out of here, boy. It was nasty.
That was
There's a lot of crazy plays last week. Like last weekend, like the games weren't that good, but then you watched all of them ended up being like really good games or fun games last week. So I mean,
so we know we're not rooting for either of Okie Stank or Texas. We hate Texas more for picking on or making fun of
Boom Pickens,
a person who's past memory. That's classless, 100%. And if I haven't seen anything of OU doing it, I saw a lot of tweets of Sooner fans to OK Barstool and Oklahoma State football condolences on the loss of Tebow. And there was a lot of that. The football hate is there, but you don't disrespect somebody like that. But
kind of goes everything. For someone like Legendary dies, it's kind of something like that. Always kind of go along.
Yeah. But what else is going on this weekend? Iron Maiden concert. Did we talk about the Iron Maiden concert?
A little bit already.
Okay, I wasn't sure.
We talk about how you got a cowboy playing for your NFL team now, Dad.
Yeah, I do.
Mason Rudolph.
Hope he does well.
The future.
I hope he does well.
I mean, they always believe in him. They trade away a first-round pick for a safety.
They believe in him, so I have to. I mean, my Steelers.
Well, you're going to lose their Browns from now on, then, because you can never beat the OU.
I don't know. The Browns ain't what everybody thought the Browns were going to be. Let's face it.
They're still better than they used to be, though.
They're better than they used to be. They might be better.
Okay, they won one game a year for 5 years. That's like our defense. Okay,
they're better. That's all I can say. They're better. They got a good quarterback.
I think them the Steelers are probably about even. I think they're probably playing for second. I think Ravens are pretty good.
Yeah.
Lamar Jackson might be MVP, which is crazy.
But is Baker top 5 quarterback in the NFL?
No, not right now.
No,
he has no protection right now. It's kind of hard.
I mean, I think he's good, and I think he's going to end up being great. I really do. I think he is, but the hype needs now. His Baker at home commercials are freaking hilarious.
But the problem with him right now,
have you seen those?
I think he's good. I think his weapons are good. They
live at the stadium. Him and his wife. He's mowing the lawn. He can't get his lawn.
I've seen that one. Is there another one?
There's one. He's trying to turn on something in the kitchen or the
lights.
Flipping the switches.
He's flipping the switches.
He can't never turn on. And he just says, "Screw it," and walks away.
But the lawnmower one, the guy sitting with that giant riding lawnmower, I can help you out. No, man, I got it. He's still trying to get that thing. Those are funny. But
the Heisman House is really funny.
Oh yeah,
and Kyler. I think his. It's not his problem right now. I think they just need to get offensive line. The problem was when they traded for Odell, they traded away one of their best linemen.
Yeah.
So if they get him protection, they have enough weapons. And you saw Odell Monday. Like that guy gets space. He's gone.
But I'm still saying the same thing to Sooner fans. Do not wear a Browns jersey to next week's Texas Tech game.
What about Kyler Murray?
No,
red.
No, you
it's
don't.
red though. You can't tell.
So I flew home next to a guy that was wearing a OU hat and a Baker Mayfield.
I saw 3 of them in the airport.
Yeah.
Dude, there were still a bunch of fans at the airport and half. Oh, which again, guess who was on my plane? Bart and Nadia.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah. Nadia still got it.
I know who that is.
Huh? Bart Connor,
Nadia
gymnast. Nadia Comaneci, one of the greatest female gymnasts ever.
Well, the two of them were.
Oh yeah, yeah, they were amazing. Bart Connor Academy here in Norman.
That's why I think one of the reasons why University of Oklahoma is so good because.
Yeah. But no, I mean my plane. I know was probably.
Well, you came Monday too, right?
3/4 full of Sooner fans coming back from the game.
Yeah, mine too.
And you were on a lot bigger plane, by the way. Good Lord, you could have flown across the ocean in
Man,
that
I
thing.
don't like those big planes because I'm just like, this plane is so long it could break in half. This is not right, especially when it's bouncing, and I'm like, what is that? Why did I not drive down here? I hate flying.
And then, well, like I said, to be fair with the OU fans those days, Baker was playing that night on Monday Night Football, so they got to support the team that day.
Oh yeah, there were people standing around in the airport with their cell phone. I actually tried. I was trying to get your sister to send me her Hulu account, and she never did. Because I just wanted to watch football. We'd been in the airport since.
It was an ugly game.
You can watch it on Hulu?
Yeah,
Yeah.
they have live games on Hulu now.
Man.
But like it was an ugly game. I mean, I've been really impressed with Kyler because if freaking Cliff Kingsbury would actually go for on fourth and that 4 times in red zone, they're on. It was 4th and 1, 4th and 1 on the 1, 4th and 3 on the 3, and then twice, and then he kicked the field goal every time. You have Kyler Murray, like give that guy a chance to win the game for you.
Okay, let's get your opinion on this. We talked about it with out in California with Scotty on the system quarterback talk. Now,
I mean, they wouldn't be succeeding in pros if there were a system quarterback.
You know that's been you've seen that's been brought up that
Yes.
maybe it's not the quarterback. What are your thoughts on that?
They're both number 1 picks, and they're both like when Kyler. Even everyone's like Kyler has it. I mean, like, the team isn't very good, but like, I don't know. It's I had to be like Cowherd or someone saying that who hates like Baker and OU players because that makes no sense. They're succeeding in the pros. It's not
You hear
playing
what Reggie
bad.
Bush said?
What did he say?
Reggie Bush said, for one, Reggie Bush said that Jalen Hurts is going to win the Heisman.
Yeah, he
period.
said that. Yeah, he put that out.
And then he also was talking about, why are we all talking about the SEC? Look at the Big 12. Look at Oklahoma, Texas. These teams are good, and nobody's giving them the respect. And they were like, they're right. No, everybody's talking about these teams. Oklahoma has been there, 3 out of 4 times.
I think we're only outclassed. I guess kind of last year, but still we still gave a fight because Kyler's just like. That's why I love Kyler so much. He's my favorite OU player because there's no quitting that guy, and he just comes back.
Blasphemy. Everybody's favorite Sooner supposed to be Baker.
I like Kyler more than Baker. And like why he's like Kyler though is just because like he just no quitting that dude. The Texas game, we were out here like giving up, like this game's over. And then all of a sudden, nowhere, Kyler just goes on rampage in the 4th quarter, and almost single-handedly wins that game for us. Same with Bama. We're getting our butts whooped the whole game. Next thing you know, Kyler Murray just carries that team on his back and brings us back the game we have no business being in the first place.
Well, I mean, offense.
He did that in the first game against the Lions.
Yeah.
Like they're getting whooped for 3 quarters, down 17-0. All of a sudden, next thing you know, Kyler gets 2 passes, gets on a roll, and just like he just the whole team is rallies around
let's
him.
give credit where credit, not just Kyler, but that offense. I mean, they did it too. But and I agree with you. He got it rolling. The problem with the last several years has been the defense.
Yeah.
I mean, we couldn't. Nick Saban said last year, we didn't stop. They never stopped us. We made mistakes and stopped ourselves. That was true with every team.
Right. No,
So,
absolutely was. But I tell you what, I was listening to the late guys, after all of our sports stations were off, and they were talking about the OU UCLA game, and one of them said, "Well, yeah, but Oklahoma's the spread you out and throw it all around the yard team." And I was like, "Did you even look at the box score, bro?"
People who say that stuff are just idiots. I mean, they don't pay attention. Just like today, Colin Cowherd looks like an idiot because I guess Jake Burrow, the guy at LSU, he's like from Ohio. He's like, how'd you never have him at Ohio State? He's on Ohio State's roster for 3 years.
My God.
Yeah. So I mean, everyone's like making fun of like Cowherd. It's like, yeah, you can't talk about college football, dude.
You didn't even look at the box score
Yeah.
because we ran it like twice as much as we threw
yeah.
it against them.
Yeah.
It was pretty fun because
And I said it's because we are so prolific at passing the ball.
Yeah.
Everybody thinks we're
we had 3 straight
spread it out
Heisman
and
winners, and then but people won't watch OU. Like everyone sees Big 12. Like, oh, there is spread out. That's what Big 12 is. Like I think that's why people are surprised with this year because now like Big 12 is more power running now. Everyone in the Big 12 likes to run.
Oh, I guarantee
That's
you,
what I mean.
Kansas State is because every play I watched them the other day, they were lined up in an I with a fullback leading in the whole old style.
Like Baylor leads the league.
Punch you in the face football was what they were playing.
Baylor leads the country in scoring. And I think they're like 60-40 running. I mean, it's just like we're more like we're turning away from the spread offenses with these new coaches, and because Lincoln's made it work. Like you see, Lincoln, our biggest strength we have is our power run game. Like because we run on everyone. I don't care who you are, we run on you, and like that's something that the other teams couldn't do because they're too small and they weren't able to do that. But we have such a good like offensive line, and we're mean up front. That's the OU's our first game plan every game is run first, pass later.
Okay, here's a question I got for you, Rob, that I forgot to ask you. How were you at seeing football at 9 a.m. on Sunday morning?
It was odd. Yeah, it was odd, and I forgot about it. When I got up Saturday, before we headed up,
Yeah, same way. It was
he was
like,
like, "Hey, game day's on. Why aren't you watching?" I'm like,
Game
"No,
day
game
is-
day's not on. It
Yeah.
doesn't come on for like 2 hours." He's like, "No, it's on."
yeah, and it's like, halfway over when you turned it on.
I don't know.
So you lived out there, or you think you could do the brunches like everyone else does out there? The
Well,
brunch?
I know like Scotty and a few other people that I talked to, and Dan, they hate the morning games, the 11 a.m. games. It's
I don't blame
horrible.
'em.
I imagine it
You know,
is. Yeah,
And
just barely getting woke up.
yeah, and it was just weird. I got up and I was the same way. I turned on game day because I was up by 8. I was like, oh, I'm gonna catch game day. And I was like, it's halfway over. What the heck? Oh yeah.
Yeah. Hey, and I just want to say thanks to Scotty and Paul again for putting me and my boys up because
Yeah.
they got a nice place up there, and Scotty's he took vacation and drove us around. It was awfully nice
Yeah.
of him. So
Yeah, and him and his wife took us to dinner one night, and picked us up from the airport, took us back to the airport,
Yeah.
which is saying something.
Yeah.
Just driving us and picking us up from the airport is
I mean, I thought I was going to die a couple times, but I
Caleb.
didn't.
You have never seen. You've been in California. You have never seen anything like the airport drive in Los Angeles. And I
It's all
know
about
I know
itself,
Bob Stoop statue who listens to the podcast and stuff. He hats off to you. That's he goes. He put it ill.
You
That's where I make.
lacking, bro.
Yeah, he's like that's that's where I make a lot of my bread and butter. And I'm like, dude, hats off because I'm serious. I would get out and hit somebody with
See, that wouldn't work in Oklahoma. It just wouldn't. People pulling right out in front of you, and
yeah.
there might just barely be enough room between you and the car in front of you, and somebody sneaks right in there.
No.
You're like, okay, go ahead and just pull it on over here, buddy.
I did think it was hilarious because when we got into it real deep, Scotty rolled down his window, and I was like, "Is that so you can yell at him?" He goes, well, yeah." And not 30 seconds later, "Come on in, asshole!"
It's like,
Yeah, but man, and then the there was more people in that damn airport than is in the state of Oklahoma, I believe.
Wow.
That thing was packed.
Scotty's like, listen, you need to put your wallet in your front pocket because there's some people in here that are professional thieves. And I'm like, good luck with that.
Yeah, but yeah, that place was crazy. But it was really weird watching. When I got up, Sunday morning, I know you guys were headed up to Hollywood, and I
Never
thought
found that Julia Child or Julia.
Julia Childs.
I don't know who is that. Is that a cook?
Yeah, that's the
Julia Childs is a cook.
yeah.
I don't even know how I knew that, but
Yeah,
Julie
you
Roberts.
got deep seated wants for Julia Childs.
Julia and Sandra Bullock.
Sandra didn't show up
She
either,
didn't show up either.
but
But I did see Scarlett Johansson's star on the Walk of Stars or whatever you call that deal.
But I sat there and I was like, yeah, turned it on. I figured I'd watch some of the Fox pregame or local news, and then I got it on. It was like, it's football. Oh yeah, I'm on the far left coast,
West Coast.
ish. But
Yep.
well, what else, Caleb? You got anything else you want to shout out about?
I enjoyed. Thanks for Eli for having me over to his parents' house and watch the game. That was fun. We had a good time over there.
Yeah.
I always go there, kind of on road games. It's always kind of fun over there. That kind of cooks out.
Yeah, Caleb didn't make the trip to California. He babysat his baby brother bulldog.
Rascal, that dog. Oh, this old guy got hit in the face. That's not good. I don't know anything else really. I'm happy it's hopefully going to start cooling down here pretty soon.
Yeah.
So I mean, it makes my job easier. So I'm ready for it to get at least nice and chilly. I'm ready for October to come around.
It's better tailgating weather in October too.
Excited for it's going 110. Excited for this Iron Man concert.
Yeah. Which, yeah, by the way, if y'all didn't know, there is an Iron Maiden concert this weekend down in Dallas. I will be there. Caleb will be there.
I will not.
Are we going to be there at opening gate? Are we going like?
No, it's we have assigned seats so we can wander around for a while. So
And so I don't know what the plan is still. We're going.
no, have no idea. So anyway, Rob, you got anything else?
That's it, man.
All right, folks. Thanks for listening. This has been the podcast. Boomer Rob.
Boomer Terry.
Boomer Caleb.
Sure.
Thanks for listening to the Sooner Football Fans Podcast. Sooner Football Fans Podcast is hosted by Rob Nixon, Terry Long, and occasionally Caleb Long. It is produced at the beautiful Podcast Palace in Norman, Oklahoma. Follow us on Twitter at SoonerFBFans and like our Facebook page at Facebook.com/Sooner Football Fans and visit our website at www.SoonerFootballFans.com to read our blogs and keep up with our tailgating activities. Boomer Sooner, everyone.